Welcome back to The Initiate's Way. I would like to talk to you today about the world. This is a change and transition phase. It's the conclusion of a long journey and the beginning of a new cycle of feeling empowered, moving past previously stressful situations, and the celebration of your gifts and talents, recognition for hard work, achievements, and change for the better. One of the meanings of this image is initiations. And if you look on this image, you see a central figure standing within a laurel wreath, and with the pillars of Jaoqin and Boaz behind her. Above and below, she's encircled by a green serpent, depicting the higher and lower realms. She walks through the flames with no fear, no doubt, and she can move in and out of the different worlds as easily as waking from sleeping. One of the key factors at this stage in the development process is that of growth and recognition of just how far you have come since the outset of your initial first footing onto this journey into the unknown. Long cycles are coming to a conclusion, and there will be some kind of reward for the process, whether that is a new outlook, a new perspective, or the satisfaction of doing something to the best of your ability. Standing back just for a moment to enjoy the feeling of a job well done before setting off on another long journey. Important life events and rites of passage are depicted here, and there is an emphasis on changing things for the better by recognising the need for working on one's self and making lasting internal changes. If you have a deck of the Crowley Frida Harris, have a look at this trump in that deck, and you see 4 fixed signs of the zodiac in the 4 corners of the card, and these can be attributed to the 4 elemental guardians of air, earth, fire and water. The central figure dances with one foot on a snake and the other raised, and she's pointing to the motion of the source of light that is coming from the opened eye in the top corner, which is emitting light. And in her other hand, she's holding a crescent-shaped instrument, which could be one of the hands of time from a clock face. Surrounding her are the constellations through which she moves and dances as time passes, where ages begin, flourish and fade. Continuity of existence is one of the themes presented here as a universal state of being. Forgetting your path and purpose happens amid the distractions and chaos of life. But if you make time every now and again to regain your sense of direction, to reorient and remind yourself of the bigger picture of where you're going and why, then you will never stray too far from the path. There is much inner work to be done before anyone can consider themselves enlightened in any way, and the process of learning never ends. You are given life lessons, and then you should assimilate what you have learned so that you don't repeat the same mistakes in the future. Consideration and understanding of the cyclic processes of astrology and the signs of the zodiac and its important relationship with the wheel of the year should be experienced and studied in great detail to allow progression of the soul's journey towards wholeness. Spiritual alchemy is not for the faint-hearted, and it comes with its own set of rewards that are priceless, one of these being the inner world and the outer world coming together in alignment and harmony with each other, and experiencing the world tree as a center point of being. The finding of one's place or center within the world is the aim for the inner journey of this archetype. If you can stay centered, then your place in the world becomes clearer, and the journey through this life becomes very different to that of eternally seeking and never finding. Becoming grounded or putting down your spiritual roots is essential. Settling on a path that is going to be conductive and productive, creative and harmonious with the world around you allows you to exist in union with the forces that weave and dance the universal dance of existence. So if you're not seated comfortably already, I would like you to get yourself into a comfortable seated position, preferably with feet flat on the floor, spine straight and hands resting lightly on your thighs. I want you to close your eyes and take in a nice big deep breath and let it out slowly. Take in a nice big deep breath and let it out slowly. Take in a nice big deep breath and let it out slowly. And if you can, I would like you to count into the count of 4 and out to the count of 4. And when you breathe in, you push your stomach out and let it fall naturally as you breathe out. I want you to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. And out. 2, 3, 4. I want you to imagine that you are walking through craggy mountains, high up in a remote and deserted place. The birds reel overhead and their cries ricochet off the faces of the mountains. The sky is clear blue with the tiniest wisps of clouds, and the heat from the sun is making you feel tired now. The road in front of you has been less travelled, and there are thorny thickets invading with every step you take. And the grass on either side of the path rustles as it sways in the wind. You have a staff with you and begin to move some of the more invasive branches out of the way. You know you should stay on this path, as this is where your guide told you that you must travel until you reach the fork in the road. It gets harder and harder with each step, but you press on until you see a crossroads up ahead. The road disappears completely from underneath your feet, but you can sense that the crossroads is not far from this point. The thorns and branches seem to tighten as you try to go forward from here. Trust your intuition, ask for your guides to step forward now and lead you through this part of your journey. For a moment, you see swirling colours. A rainbow mist that spirals out in all directions. You wait a moment until the swirling colours have receded, and to your amazement, you stand at the entrance of a wide, tree-lined path. The path goes far away from you into the distance. You are standing underneath two tall trees with roots that are nearly bigger than you. These are bent together at the top to form an archway. The roots look like giant gnarled fingers, and they disappear into the ground below. Imagine how far down these roots must go, bearing in mind how tall the trees are. You hear someone whisper your name from a little way down the path in front of you, and you walk through this gigantic tree archway and onto a tree-lined avenue. You hear the murmuring of insects in the forest, and the dappled sunlight creates patterns on the ground as you walk. You feel as if you are being drawn somewhere special as you go further into the forest along this avenue of ancient trees. You see something a little way off in the distance. There is a patch of open sky, and the sun is illuminating a structure of some sort in the centre of a clearing. As you get closer, you see that it is some kind of step pyramid. The stone is roughly cut on the wall that is facing you, and there are 7 hewn steps that lead up to a stony face of the goddess. The steps end at her closed mouth, and you take a moment to see all the detail that has been carved into this monument. Walk around the building and see what else you can find on the outside. Are there any more carvings? Can you see a doorway? You are joined now by a guide who tells you that to gain entry, you must offer something to the goddess. What are you willing to give in order to progress further on your spiritual journey? Take a moment to ask yourself, what has brought you to this sacred place? Do you have questions? Ask your companion about any questions you might have now. You find yourself now within a large circular stone atrium. The blue sky above you is cloudless and the air feels warm. Sunlight illuminates the centre of the structure, and you notice on the floor there are 4 carved figures representing the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. The walls are also carved in bas relief, and you recognise the poses of the rest of the signs of the zodiac, who are engaged in portraying a story all around the inner of the circular wall. You walk around looking at each in turn. Pay attention to any information that you are given, and if you feel drawn more to any particular sign, engage in conversation with the image and ask if there is anything that you need to know for you to proceed on your spiritual quest. As the sun begins to dip and disappear behind the craggy mountains in the distance, the atrium takes on a completely different atmosphere. The sky darkens, and one by one the stars emerge. As the dusky pink haze of sunset quickly turns into an inky midnight blue sky, studded with thousands of stars. This place allows you to attune yourself with the passage of time, and you feel the magic of your ancestors stirring within you. You are the product of thousands of lifetimes and those who have gone before you. Take a moment to appreciate everything you have and the gifts you have been blessed with in this life before considering making your return journey back to your current incarnation. The sky above you morphs into the distant memory, a recollection of the stars as they were positioned the day that you were born into this lifetime. You feel inspired and renewed with hope and optimism for the future, and you say your silent farewell to this magical place. The vision of the atrium slowly fades, and you find yourself standing once again at the crossroads where you started your journey. As you walk back through the craggy mountains with the sun shining down on you, you bring back everything that you have experienced. Make sure you are fully present and back in the room. You can clap your hands, stamp your feet. At the count of 3, you will be fully present and in the room. 1, 2, 3. Wide awake and in the room. If you have a journal handy to write down anything you experienced, any signs, symbols, sigils, people, smells, places, things, write them all down for consideration later. And I hope you enjoyed this journey. Until next time.